Today's khutbah is dedicated to the last ayah of Surah Al-Hajj. For those of you who would like to read this on your own, it's the 22nd surah of the Quran and it's the 78th ayah. You know, many of you have jobs and you remember going for a job interview. And oftentimes you apply for a job hoping that you'll get the job even though your resume is not very impressive. And you go in for the interview and they start describing to you what this job requires. As the guy is telling you all these job descriptions, you're sitting there embarrassed, like maybe he should just let me go now instead of humiliating me further. And after he's done describing all of this and you're clearly not qualified, he turns to you and says, "Congratulations, you start tomorrow." Now your first reaction is shock. How did I get picked for this job? I'm not nearly qualified. But the second part of this is, even if I did get picked, even if I am selected for this job, it's no congratulations at all. Tomorrow when I show up for work, I'm not going to know what to do. They're going to know that I'm completely and utterly not suitable for this job. It's going to be humiliating. So Allah Azza wa Jal in the beginning of this ayah didn't just say, وَجَاهِدُوا فِي اللَّهِ. Struggle for, with no goal before you, and struggle for no other reason than Allah Himself. He said, حَقَّ جِهَادِهِ, as is worthy of Him. When we pray, do we pray in the way that Allah deserves? Or when we thank Allah, do we thank Allah to the amount that Allah deserves to be thanked? Or when we obey Allah or remember Allah, do we remember Allah the way He deserves to be remembered? As a matter of fact, no matter how much we do, we can never qualify to do justice to His rights. We're always going to fall short. My salah is never going to be worthy of Allah, actually. At the end of it all, it's going to have lots of errors. It's going to have lots of shortcomings. My mind will wander. And then Allah Azza wa Jal only knows if it's good enough, and so we have to beg Him at the end of our prayer, رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا, Master, accept from us. But there's no way you and I can ever do something that's worthy of Allah Himself. And it's impossible. So how is Allah giving us an impossible job description? وَجَاهِدُوا فِي اللَّهِ حَقَّ جِهَادِهِ. Struggle with no intention except Allah alone, like the struggle is worthy of Him. He then gives the explanation of why we've been chosen. He says, هُوَ اجْتَبَاكُمْ. The easy translation of هُوَ اجْتَبَاكُمْ is, in fact, He's the one. He has selected you. He has chosen you. But the Arabic word here for choosing, or ijtiba, the word that's selected here by Allah, is very special. If you say the word ikhtiyar, which is also a word for choice, meaning you prefer something or you make a better choice. That's ikhtiyar. You can say istafa or istifa in the Arabic language. When you make a choice, you don't have to explain to anybody else why you made that choice. For example, when you go shopping and you buy like a blue shirt, you don't owe somebody a scientific explanation, why did you pick the blue shirt, why didn't you get the white shirt? That's istifa, it's purely your choice. But when you say ijtiba, which is the word Allah chose here, when He described that He chose you and me to be Muslim, ijtiba actually means to make a choice based on qualifications. When you make the right choice for the right job, that is called ijtiba. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you and what I'm trying to remind myself of is that when Allah honored you and me to be Muslim, is actually a very precise choice from Allah. There were plenty of other human beings available before Allah on this planet, and Allah chose precisely you and me to be Muslim for a task that He has. Because ijtiba is done for a particular purpose, for a task. So now, we aren't just chosen to be Muslim, we're chosen to be Muslim because we have a mission in front of us. And that mission He already describes is you have to struggle for Allah as is worthy of the struggle that should be made for Him. Allah sees something in me, I don't even see it in myself. I don't even see what's so special about me. Why did I get chosen? There's so many better people out there. But and this is too hard anyway. Islam is way too hard. What Allah is asking of me is too much. I can't do it. And what are the next words from Allah Himself? وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ. He did not place for you in the religion any difficulty, any discomfort, any tightness whatsoever. In other words, this is Allah Himself telling you, relax, I'll make it easy. Don't you worry about that. You're the right man for the job. You're the right woman for the job. You were the one chosen for this time, this day, and this age. I'll take you back to the analogy I gave you in the beginning. There's that job interview, and the guy gave you an impossible job description, and you're sitting there thinking, there's no way I'll get hired. And then he hires you. And your first thought is, I'm not qualified. And he says, relax, I know what I'm doing. I've been hiring for a long time. I see something in you. Even if you don't think you know you'll learn pretty quickly. You know, I know talent when I see it. So He's encouraging you and He's acknowledging you in a way that you didn't even think you saw in yourself. The other thing that's happening here is every Muslim is supposed to see value in themselves. No believer can think that they're useless before Allah. They're worthy because Allah made a special choice of them. A special choice of them. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who struggle in our path, we open up our pathways for them. We guide them to our multiple pathways. Absolutely. Allah will make a way out for you. This struggle that I keep referring to is different for each one of you. Some of you have struggles inside the family. Some of you have struggles at work or having to do with money. Some of you are struggling with your health. Some of you are struggling with your religion itself. Barely holding on to your religion itself. Barely holding on to Allah Himself. Some of you are struggling to get away from haram. Only Allah knows your secrets. I'm not here to know your secrets, but know one thing. When you decide to struggle away from the way of shaitan and towards Allah, Allah's help is constantly there. He does not abandon you. We think He abandons us. Shaitan comes and tells us, you're so messed up. Allah doesn't like you. He's going to burn you in hell, etc., etc. He wants you to lose connection with Allah. And Allah comes along and says, no. Allah is there when you turn to Him. He's going to be there and He's going to constantly be there to provide His support. May Allah Azza wa Jal never let us lose hope in our Master and our Rabb. May Allah Azza wa Jal make our personal struggles in our deen easy for all of us.